Welcome to Chris Allen's podcast. And here comes the show. Alright, guys, welcome to an outrageous story on the Chris Allen podcast. And I'm putting this one under the outrageous story tagline, but this is more about a life-changing experience in my life. So we're going to go into short detail. I think I talked about it in a previous outrageous story on the Outrageous Story podcast. If you want to go back and listen to it, about what happened with my first wife when I was in my early 20s. I think it was 2021, right in that area. Got married to a 19-year-old. And we were just too young to be married, and she wasn't loyal at all. I was loyal. I can honestly say I have never cheated. There's a point to that. It's important. We'll get to that. I have never cheated. I am not a cheater. I would not cheat. I think cheating is wrong. And there is different emotional and physical cheating, and I don't really think you can emotionally cheat. You can physically cheat. But we can argue that later. That's not important. Anyway, so I have never cheated. Yay me. Good person. Go me. I rock. On the other hand, there is the thing. She cheated on me. She left. And I was very angry at the world. I was very angry with females in general. And I didn't treat any of them poorly. I just didn't care to be in any kind of relationship. For the age of 21 to 28, 29, don't think I had one close to serious relationship. It was doing a lot of things that were just ridiculous. I had an apartment that was a legend amongst correctional officers. I was a correctional officer. And just so you know, correctional officers are all broke. Especially, in the state of Kentucky, if you work for the state, you're broke. I understand federal pays pretty well, but if you work for Kentucky Department of Corrections, you broke. You ain't got no money. It's a little better now, but you still broke. So hang out together a lot, and like people's houses and shit, like because there was no money. And that was fine. But yeah, there was a weekly things in my apartment, constantly things in my apartment, things going on. And we had a buddy who was friends with one of the people from corrections that was at my house in the apartment. And I think of that particular thing, there was two lesbians making out in my bed while we were all watching, and craziness going on the couch, and he just came down the hallway and goes, "Dude, what is this? Is this normal?" "Oh yeah, it's normal. This is how we roll in this house." He goes, "Aren't you are you involved with these girls?" Some of them, sometimes. It depends. He goes, "Did you sell your soul to the devil to get this arrangement?" I'm like, "No, this is what I do." And he was he still remembers that apartment to this day. I got a tattoo from him later. He's like, "You remember that apartment? All that stuff you used to do?" I'm like, "Yeah, I remember. Don't tell my wife." Not married anymore, but at the time I was married. He's like, "Yeah, don't tell my wife. She don't need to know about that apartment." And the crazy stuff I used to do in that apartment. She knows now, I think, a little bit, but still. But back to the life-changing moment. There was a point, a time in my life where, like I said, I was angry. I'm doing anything good, and sleeping with multiple married women. Now, I've never cheated. They were the ones cheating. I wasn't cheating. We can argue that point later. But yeah, I was not the one cheating. They were. I'm innocent. And so I get home. For reference, there's two apartment complexes right next together. I forget what they're called now. At the time, they were called like Cedar Park Apartments, and so the other one like Post Grove Apartments, but it's changed its name a couple of times. They're right next to each other. They're right off Westport Road in Louisville, Kentucky. And if you're familiar there, you know I'm talking about how the two parking lots meet up. There's like a little 5-inch thing of grass in between, and I park up against a stone wall, which the back of my car is facing the Post Grove Apartments parking lot, which I'm pretty sure they've changed their name to something else now. And I pull in, and I get out of my car, and all I hear is, "I'm going to kill you, stop fucking my wife." Now, normal person's response to that is, I want to see what's going on, who's getting their ass beat. My response was to dive headfirst into my car, pull the door shut, lock it, and put my head down in the passenger seat, and I'm literally waiting for bullets to go through my windows. Like I'm waiting to die. And the thought process is going through my head down here is like, okay, which one is it? That's not the right answer. That's the first thought that goes through your head after hearing that is, which one is it? Maybe you're not doing what you should be doing. And my thing was, okay, it has to be one of the two in the apartment building I live in. Because I was sleeping with two of the wives in the very building I lived in. And so I stood there for a minute. I lay there for a minute. And I get the car started. Kind of reach over and start it with my left hand. And like, I'm going to pop up. I'm going to drive the fuck out of here as quick as I can. Hopefully see who it is so I know who to avoid. Whatever. So the car started. I pop up. I look around. And I don't see anybody. Nobody's even near the car. I turn off the car. I look around. And what happened was at Post Grove Apartments, at the very last building, some dude had just caught somebody sleeping with his wife. And they were fighting in the parking lot. I'm like, oh, it's not me. I'm good. Cool. And I went, thinking to myself, went into my apartment, made some food, and was sitting there going, maybe I should rethink my life and what I'm doing. And maybe I shouldn't be so hateful. And maybe I shouldn't do this. I don't want to die. And more importantly, I don't want to die. Maybe I don't want to be this person anymore. Maybe I should take things more seriously. That's what I did. And that was a pivotal moment in my life that I didn't want to die. I did continue to sleep with one of the neighbor's wives. I know. Story about that. So, this isn't necessarily a proud moment, but it was another moment. So my two neighbors were Cuban. They're from Florida. Like escaped from Cuba, came to Florida. Like, yeah, and awesomest people, nicest people. He worked as an assistant driver for Papa John's. Basically, he rolled around in the truck, and when they got to places to deliver the stuff, he'd get out and help the driver unload the truck for, pizza dough, sauce, whatever. And she was a stripper. And not all strippers are bad people. Some strippers are awesome people. Anyway, so that's what it was. So we're at my house. My brother came over. We're watching. Me, my brother, her, him. We're watching the UFC when Brock Lesnar came back and fought Shane Carwin. Great fight, by the way. It was a great fight. And we're watching it. And about halfway through the UFC, dude's like, man, I gotta go to work. And I was like, cool. And shook my hand, goes, hey, man, keep an eye on my apartment. Don't let me mess with my lady. Keep an eye on my wife for me. I said, man, no problem. Got you. And he left, and we kept watching the UFC. And then he called her. Like, hey, we're heading out in the truck. I'm leaving. I'm going to be gone for 3 days. I'll see you when I get back. And she's like, cool, bye. And then he leaves. Or he's on the truck. He's gone. No chance of him showing up. And she goes, I don't care about UFC. I go, I know. And she goes, do you care about this fight? I go, no, not really. Because it was one of the pre-fights, whatever. I didn't care. So she takes me my hand. We go back in the bedroom, do things we're not supposed to do as here being married. And my brother's a good man. Good man. I think he paused the fight. Whatever. Then she went back to her apartment, and I'm sitting there with my brother, and we finished watching the UFC. And my brother looks at me and goes, you're fucking savage. You're not even right. I go, what do you mean? He goes, look. First of all, you never sleep with a married person. I'm like, I know. He goes, but you shook the husband's hand not 10 minutes before you did that. And I'm like, yeah, I did. He's like, you shook his hand. I go, he told me to keep an eye on her. I was just checking all the parts. And I was just like, I'm not done with you. You can't. No, there's something wrong with you. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. What's up? And then we finished watching the fight. My brother went home. And I think my brother was deeply ashamed of me. I really do. But, we got past that. And I have learned my lesson. I have moved on. I am no longer that person. They say a person can't change. But you know what? A person can make better decisions. And with my head down in the passenger, not even the seat, like down where the feet go, thinking I'm about to get shot. That was a moment. It was a pivotal moment in my life where I went, yep. No vagina's worth dying for. Not one. And I'm sure for ladies, no penis is worth dying for. Relationships, love, being together, and being happy, that is worth dying for. Caring about somebody that you're willing to sacrifice them, that is worth it. But just for one good time, it's not worth it. And I learned that. I learned that in the scariest way I could imagine, but I learned it. And I hope everybody else learned from my mistake and doesn't do what I did. All right, guys, that is the show for the night. Everybody have a wonderful day. And don't get shot. It's bad. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show wherever you're listening to this show. If you're listening to the Chris Allen Show, awesome. If you're listening to the Jason E. Jones Show, even better. We look forward to bringing you more contact. And if you want to help us out with that, you can hit us up at www.patreon.com/worstjokes and help fund the show. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us at cman234 at Twitter, at cman234 at Twitter. You can find on Facebook, the Chris Allen Podcast. You can find Jason on Facebook, the Jason E. Jones Podcast. You can also find him on Twitter too. Just search for the Jason E. Jones Podcast, and you'll find him. We're all there. We're all here for you. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to an email at asktheangryninja@gmail.com. You want to be on the show, reach out, hit us up. We'll get you on the show, interview. You want to come tell a joke, tell a joke. We're all here. If you have an outrageous story, I'd love to hear it. We'll put that up too. So just let us know. And if you have anything you want to hear, let us know. Twitter's the best way just to let you know. So everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. Talk to you later. Bye.